Tonight on Cronkite News, Arizona is in for one of its longest stretches of record heat. Why this area is under such extreme heat pressure.
Plus, the trial over a homeless encampment in Phoenix is underway.
And we take an inside look on what's happening at Summer League. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Bree Pacelli.
And I'm Eduardo Morales. Thank you for joining us.
If you've been outside today, you know it's been humid and hot.
In fact, it's been so hot, it's downright dangerous. Alexandria Colin joins us now from the Weather Center.
So why is it so hot here in Arizona? The National Weather Service says one of those reasons is due to the lack of monsoon moisture. However, we are starting to see some clouds today, and eastern Arizona will be getting some light rain over the next 24 hours. But until we see these monsoons really kick in, most of the heat is here to stay. Another reason we're seeing these high temps are due to the heat dome of high pressure currently sitting over big parts of Arizona. As we look here in Phoenix, Yuma, and Las Vegas, we're seeing those dark purple, which means the big excessive heat warnings. 7 counties here in Arizona are under that excessive heat warning. Prototypes like the heat risk tool used by meteorologists give a better understanding of the severity of that forecasted heat and the potential risk that comes with it.
Going back to the heat risk tool, heading into this weekend, we're expecting that to peak. So it has several different categories ranging anywhere from minor to extreme heat risk. So by this weekend, we're expecting extreme heat risk, which means everyone will be susceptible to heat-related impacts. So everyone needs to be taking it seriously, making sure they're staying cool and staying hydrated.
These tools are essential to us here in Arizona, especially heading into these upcoming weeks, as we will discuss here a little bit later in our future forecast coming up in the next few minutes. From the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Alexandria Cullen.
Thanks, Alexandria. Here in the Valley, we are used to high temps during this time of year, but not everyone has access to reliable air conditioning.
Cities across the valley are ready to help. In fact, Glendale announced today they are opening 3 new heat relief stations. Cronkite reporter Aaron Patterson joins us in the newsroom with a look at what cities across the valley are offering.
That's right, Bree. Last year in Maricopa County, there were more than 420 heat-related deaths. The Maricopa County Heat Relief Network wants to make sure more people are safe during these dangerous temperatures. They have a map available online that shows all of the places you can go in case of a heat emergency. Now, zooming in further to this map, the first marker that we are going to look at is this blue marker here. Now, these are the hydration stations. They are meant to be more of a stop and go. People can go to these locations to get bottles of water. These stations can either be indoors or outdoors. Moving on, we're going to take a look at these orange markers here. Now, these are your cooling centers. The cooling centers are indoor and air-conditioned places where people come in, drink some water, and take a break from the heat. Lastly, we're going to take a look at this green marker down here. Now, these are your respite centers. They are very similar to those cooling centers. However, they also give an opportunity for people to sleep. The 3 new respite centers over in Glendale will even offer food. You'll also see on the map these pink markers here. These are your donation sites where you can donate water bottles and other resources. And as a reminder to those with furry friends, pets are not allowed at either the hydration stations or cooling centers, but they are allowed at the respite centers. You can find this map at the address below. In the newsroom, Aaron Patterson, Cronkite News.
A high-profile trial began in Phoenix regarding the city's largest homeless encampment known as The Zone. 15 residents and business owners near the zone are suing the city, saying the encampment has subjected them to violence and caused damage to their properties. They claim the encampment has become a public nuisance and the city has not done enough to fix the problem. One city official testified and said encampments could be a viable option for some.
For one thing, it could be in a more controlled environment. And I know some of the challenges are people tend to get a lot of possessions. There can be screening for people to make sure that there are adequate people there to work with them, that they're not just put into a place and left. It still will need supervision. And I do believe that's in the city's plan.
In March, a judge ordered the city to clear the encampment and began doing so block by block in May. So far, 3 blocks have been cleared. City officials have stated the city is working on new ways to address homelessness, such as creating new and diverse indoor shelter options. The trial is expected to wrap up tomorrow.
The city of Tempe recently announced their plans to improve services for the unsheltered. In the press release, the city said they are expanding a program that connects unsheltered people with the city jobs. They are also increasing the amount of shelter beds available, including purchasing a motel to convert into 60 to 120 emergency beds. And last, Tempe is putting more resources towards their Care and Hope Line, a call-in service that connects people with care specialists who help with social services.
It's heating up in Las Vegas too, but it's not just because of the weather. The NBA Summer League has officially begun.
The Phoenix Suns won their first game on Monday, defeating the Miami Heat 73-70. Cronkite News' Andrew Lind caught up with the Suns' lone draft pick and his #1 fans.
Every player comes into Las Vegas' NBA Summer League with a different goal in mind. For some, they're trying to sign a deal. For others, they're trying to make a roster spot. And while Toumani Camara is trying to show the Suns he belongs, he's also here to be with his family.
There's a lot of sacrifice we made, me, his brother, and him, because we are always together. Until he's 16, when he was 16, and after that he came here in the United States. And during 7 years, he wasn't with us, and it was hard.
Toumani came to the U.S. at age 16 to pursue a career in basketball. The decision to leave his home of Belgium wasn't easy, but his mom was willing to do whatever it took if she knew her son was chasing his dreams.
When he was 6 years old, he began basketball, and he thought about it was his dream. It was always in his head.
It's a dream for all kids in Belgium and playing basketball to go to the drafts.
Only seeing his family once a year, Toumani recognizes the family support.
It means the world to me. It means the world to me. Like I say every time, they've been part of my journey. They've been going through a lot, like I've been going through a lot. So they're my #1 fan. So being able to have them in the stand and watch me play, especially in this environment with an NBA jersey on, it means the world to me.
In the time Camara has been with the Suns, he's been able to make an immediate impact, and his maturity has caught the eye of head coach Frank Vogel.
He's coming in here, I think, 22, 23 years old, and you can see that in the confidence that he's playing with. He's not nervous. He's not going through a lot of growing pains, and he's hit the ground running.
Now, Vogel also tells me he and Toumani have had several dinners in Phoenix, and he says Toumani has a great personality and is very smart. It sounds like the whole Suns organization is very happy with their second-round draft pick. In Las Vegas, Andrew Lind, Cronkite News.
Coming up next, we find out how Brittany Griner and the Mercury are showing support for detainees.
A station has been set up at Footprint Center where fans are able to show their love to people across the world.
And later, we take a look at what goes into making fencing equipment.
When you support Arizona PBS, you plant a seed. Seeds that provide educational outreach in our community. Seeds that put our digital resources to work. Seeds that foster the trusted news coverage you expect from PBS. And seeds that continue the amazing PBS programs you love. But our garden can't keep growing without your support. Visit our website to see all the ways you can help our garden grow. Plant a seed with Arizona PBS today.
My heart is racing right now.
Fasten your seatbelt.
You're uncovering the truth.
These are consequential things.
Yeah.
Oh, look at everybody.
I feel the presence of all these people.
I've got history.
No.
I wish my mom could be here to see this.
Amazing.
It's like the most vital stuff, right?
Tuesdays on Arizona PBS.
The PBS NewsHour, continuing nearly 50 years of unbiased reporting.
The speech sets the foundation for Democrats as they push for voting rights.
The protesters have not yet been moved, basically having their run of the plate.
Covering a broad range of stories.
You've got less rain here now, too, right?
They're running out of water. What's it like on that stage? There's this magic.
I'm Amna Nawaz.
And I'm Jeff Bennett. Join us every weeknight on the PBS NewsHour.
Fans around the world have been elated to see Brittney Griner back on the court with Phoenix Mercury this season. Just 6 months ago, she returned to the U.S. after being unlawfully detained in Russia.
Our Crystal Stone explores how the 9-time WNBA All-Star is using her platform to give back with some help from the X Factor.
Brittney Griner has spoken openly about how receiving letters of support during her wrongful detainment in Russia helped her survive the darkest of times. But according to the Foley Legacy Foundation, there are still nearly 60 Americans either held hostage or wrongfully detained in foreign prisons. Now that Griner is back home, she's paying it forward, giving others hope around the world. Griner and the Phoenix Mercury have partnered with the Bring Our Families Home campaign to raise awareness for Americans who have been wrongfully imprisoned abroad. During home games, fans can write letters to detainees in other countries and learn more about their stories. Team reps say over 100 letters have been collected so far, and the families of those detained greatly appreciate the outpouring of support.
Brittney, doesn't owe this to anyone. Anyone who goes through this experience, it's just a blessing for them to be back home. But the fact that she's championed this, the Mercury, along with Bring Our Families Home, can support her, and that goal has just meant a lot to those families.
In support of the Mercury, other WNBA teams have joined the cause. For example, the New York Liberty has set up a writing station for their fans as well. In the newsroom, Crystal Stone, Cronkite News.
Diamondbacks pitcher Zach Gallen gets the start for the National League in tonight's MLB All-Star Game.
Corbin Carroll will also represent the D-backs as a starting outfielder. The Seattle native gets to play in his first All-Star game as a rookie in his hometown, in his hometown stadium, which is pretty special. While Carroll is a front-runner, the Rookie of the Year, the D-backs are looking for their next future star. They selected Tommy Troy with the 12th overall pick in the first round of the MLB draft. The middle infielder helped play at Stanford and is known for his hitting and athletic ability. The California kid is thrilled to join the D-backs.
Yeah, I grew up, playing in a bunch of tournaments in Arizona, and I would always love going to Diamondbacks games and watching them play. And then obviously having an awesome season this year, so I really love the program and I'm so excited to be a part of it.
The national championships for fencing came to Phoenix last week, where fencers of all ages got the chance to compete.
Cronkite News reporter John Kuzi takes a look at equipment fencing and how this sport is not one that fits all sizes.
Fencing is a sport that requires a lot of specialized equipment, from masks and gloves to swords and jackets. With the sport playable for all ages, it's important that that equipment be customizable to the fencer's size and liking.
It could be a kid from 4 years old, 5 years old, to a person 98 years old. When it's kids, their hands are a little smaller, it's smaller than the big person. So we had to customize because the grip is too big or it's too small.
The customization goes beyond the size of the handle. You can also customize the color. Once you get your sword, the next step is getting your name on your jacket. This cannot be customized, but according to Robert Marks, it has made the sport more popular.
Blue block letters 8 to 10 centimeters in height, and it's not always possible, but the width of the stroke, like for an eye, has to be between 1 and 1.5 centimeters. Once people can see the people and understand where they're from or who they are, they get more involved.
So once you get your saber customized to your liking and your jacket stenciled, you have one more step. You've got to take your equipment to the armory where they will check it for its safety.
We had a death a couple of decades ago where the mask did not hold up to a point coming through. Yes, the sport is a blood sport originally, but we try not to have any blood in the sport.
Despite its potential danger, studies have shown fencing has one of the lowest injury rates in the Olympics. So once you get that stamp of approval from the Armory, you are free to fence. And whether you're young or old, the sport is tailor-made for everyone. In Phoenix, John Kuzi, Cronkite News.
Coming up next, we'll travel to the nation's capital, which hosted artists from all over the country.
That's right, and 2 Navajo artists from Arizona shared their traditional artwork. We'll meet them next.
This is the moment that we've been waiting for. There's something different about you, a new brightness in your eyes.
Welcome to the Hotel Portofino.
How utterly charming. Something is coming, can you feel it now?
My dreams have been invigorated.
We like stories that are going to elevate us.
Feel it now.
What is your sense now of the situation?
Something is coming.
They gave us possibilities.
This is the opportunity to share my recipes.
There
are heroes everywhere you look.
You're going deep into the heart of America.
The Holocaust is a story that Americans have to reckon with, too.
This is pure exploration.
Wow!
I want to spend the rest of my life with you.
The pilot fire burning near Wickiup has burned another 1,500 acres after starting more than a week ago. The Arizona Forestry Service has been dropping fire retardant in the area to keep it from spreading. So far, it's burned about 34,000 acres and is just 5% contained. The good news, there are no homes or structures in danger. The pilot fire is believed to have been human-caused.
Well, back here in the valley, it's plenty hot, and it's only going to keep getting hotter. Alexandria Colin joins us now with more on what we can expect.
We're currently around 7 p.m. here. It's 108 degrees. But as we head a little bit later into our evening, by 10 p.m. here, it'll be 102. So if you're looking to sit outside or even just be outside, it might be a little bit cooler there for you. But as we head into our future cast here around 7 p.m. again, we're actually going to see some rain and cloud coverage coming up towards the eastern end of the state. And into tomorrow morning on your workday travel, we'll see some rain up through Phoenix as well. But later into the evening tomorrow, we're going to see that rain again go towards the eastern end of the state there. Now, as we head into our low temperatures Wednesday, I'm wishing they were our highs because we've got 91 here in Phoenix, 52 near the Grand Canyon, and 82 in Tucson. And as we look at those highs, we're sitting at 112 degrees in Phoenix. Believe it or not, this will be the 12th consecutive day of over 110-degree heat, which is insane. The last time we had this, it was up to 18 consecutive days, so who knows, we might break the record. We're sitting at 91 near the Grand Canyon and 105 in Tucson. Now, as we look at our 8-day forecast, this will be the coolest day of the next week, 112 degrees tomorrow. Thursday, we're going to see 114 and Friday, 116. But it only gets worse, guys. As we head into the remainder of the week here, 117 on Saturday, but then we'll see a little bit of a decrease, a little bit cooler out there for you, 116 on Sunday. Both Monday and Tuesday, we're sitting at about 115 with maybe some scattered showers or scattered clouds there. And then Wednesday, we'll see 112 again. From the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Alexandria Cullen.
We sure could use some rain, but folks back east have the opposite problem. That's because heavy rains have caused widespread flooding in Vermont. The flooding has destroyed many roads and overtaken some homes in and around the southern part of the state. The rushing water has also destroyed several local businesses, and officials say they've been called to at least 100 water rescues in the area. More rain is predicted to hit the area at the end of this week.
And the excessive heat down south is wreaking havoc on the famed coral reefs of the Florida and the Caribbean. Sea surface temps in the area have been reaching 95 degrees so far this year, but the reefs need a temperature to stay in the mid-80s to survive. And when the water is too hot, it could cause the coral to die. Government officials say there's a 60% chance of what's called coral mortality across the Caribbean and South Florida from now until October. The weather in Washington, D.C. recently dampened the crowds at one annual festival. Cronkite News reporter Isabel Garcia met some Navajo artists who were in Washington to spread the message of how their culture and art are intertwined.
For more than 50 years, the Smithsonian Folklife Festival has brought artists and performers from around the country and the globe to share their culture here on the National Mall. And this year, that included 2 Dene artists from Navajo Nation. Kevin Aspis, a weaver, and photographer Kayla Jackson got to share their Navajo heritage with festival visitors and talk about how they connected to their respective art forms. Aspis, for example, uses wool from sheep he raises, a major part of Navajo history.
A lot of our group that came along with us from the Navajo Nation have a lot of memories dealing with sheep. A lot of our aunts, a lot of our grandmothers wove using the wool from the sheep.
Both Aspis and Jackson were part of several sessions discussing how their culture drives their art. For Jackson, it's important to be able to share that worldview with people of different backgrounds.
So together we grow together, and we all are combined and encompassed in this worldview. So we get to share that worldview here at the Folklife Festival, which is very honoring, and it's very good at cultural knowledge and cultural exchange, as well as cultural longevity.
Aspis agrees that being in DC means being able to educate the public about Dene history and culture from a Navajo point of view.
It means a lot because there's so many books, so many videos made about Navajo people, but not from their perspective and not from their way of telling, educating the public. So being here and educating the public about our history, historical trauma that we've gone through as Dene people, and how weaving has carried us and maintained itself throughout our collective history as Dene people.
In Washington, Isabel Garcia, Cronkite News.
Coming up after the break, a Scottsdale homeowner was paid a visit by 2 feline friends.
A mama bobcat and her kitten, how officials were able to catch them, reunite them, and release them back into the wild. Next.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
this is Sun City Garage,
to sports coverage,
against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news.
The bill also gives parents the ability to see,
and entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
Welcome to the State Press, ASU's student-run news organization that covers everything ASU. As one of the longest-standing student-run newsrooms in the country, the State Press offers a glimpse into a real newsroom environment. The State Press has been cited by organizations such as CNN, The Washington Post, MSNBC, and many more. Students gain valuable experience in reporting, editing, photography, and even podcasting. The State Press is home to some of ASU's hardest-working and most dedicated students, so feel free to join.
This is CN to Go. I'm Emily Olson with your Wednesday news briefing.
Do you want to create innovative content for Cronkite News? Do you enjoy listening to podcasts? Then CN to Go is for you. Cronkite News to Go is a podcast where students cover the latest headlines. Students become audio producers and hosts and will learn how to write, record, and edit stories. You can listen to the latest episodes on these platforms.
I'm Chef Mark Tarbell. Welcome to Check Please Arizona. You picked this place. Tell us why.
It was just so cozy.
Anything you order there is going to be phenomenal.
I had the meatballs.
Garlicky in the absolute best way.
They were amazeballs.
I was that person that went up to the salsa bar 4 times.
Not what I was expecting. Join me for the 10th season of Check Please Arizona. I'm getting hungry.
Welcome.
How utterly charming.
Are you ready to get it going?
How does an English fan come to the Italian Riviera?
A fresh start.
Can I trust you? You can't be afraid to show them what you've got, what you want.
Are we having a party?
Of course, the more the merrier.
I love this place. It's my home now. Trouble in paradise. I can't do it on my own.
This is revenge.
There are consequences.
Be careful.
Nothing like this. Nothing like this. You look like you need rescuing.
Don't we all?
What is it that you want?
I just want to let go.
I choose how I live.
There is the passion that I've been looking for.
A Scottsdale homeowner made a surprising discovery in their attic.
A baby bobcat. Apparently, this kitten made its way into the home by finding its way through a hole in the roof, but the mother was nowhere to be found. Later the same day, officials finally found and caught the mama bobcat in a bathroom. They were able to reunite her with her little one and safely release both of them back into the wild. If a bobcat ever decides to pay you a visit, contact a wildlife control business or the Arizona Game and Fish Department.
That's it for Cronkite News. Thank you for joining us.
And to see top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.